Men Do Talk.
Hola! Welcome to Men Do Talk. I am your host, Pierre Johnson, and today we will be discussing a very interesting topic. Why wait for marriage to have sex? Please help me welcome my panelists for today who will be discussing the topic, why wait for marriage? First, to my left is Van Brown, who is an author, poet, and just an amazing man. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and what love means to you.
Hello, my name is Van Brown, like Pierre said. I'm originally from the Bahamas. Been living in LA for about 17 years. What love means to me, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So love doesn't come to get something, it comes to give. So love is a demonstration of your outpouring of giving.
That one just raised my level. So next we have Michael James. Michael James, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what love means to you.
Man, how you guys doing? My name is Michael James. I'm a young actor out here in Hollywood, and what love means to me is that first time the girl takes that sip when you borrow that first drink. And then, no, honestly, what love means to me, I don't really have, I'm not as deep as my man right here. I've never been in love personally, but, I got love for my family, love for my friends, and right now in my life, that's where that love stays, somebody that you can be real with and open up to and, get the same respect from, that you give to them.
Absolutely. Okay, next we got a brother, Dwayne Avery, actor, comedian. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and what love means to you.
I'm from Washington, D.C., now LA resident. What love means to me? Honestly, I can tell you that I don't know what love means to me because I ain't never been in love. So I wait, but I can't wait and not know what it might be. So I got to venture into the opportunity of what might possibly be.
All right, say a little bit for that. Say a little bit for that. All right, so to my right is my man Stefan Chaney, Mr. Salesman, professional salesman, Mr. Humanitarian, Mr. People Mover. That's my brother right there, Mr. All Things.
What's up, everybody? I'm Stefan Chaney. I'm from North Carolina. Been in LA for 10 years. And what love means to me is, I have to say sacrifice. Kind of piggybacking off what Van said. It's not a selfish thing, it's more of a selfless act. So I'm learning that a lot through marriage, and I'm learning it, every day. So
absolutely,
it's about sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay. And this is the man right here, Mr. B5, the prophet himself.
Yeah. Hey,
tell the people a little bit about yourself, man. And this guy right here, man, you see him everywhere. Tell him a little bit about yourself.
Brandon Fobbs. I'm an actor. I started out on HBO shows The Wire, and got on a couple other movies. Been out here now. I'm from Washington D.C. area, like my man. And what love means to me is choice. It's a choice. It's what you choose to do despite what you got. You grow up with these backgrounds, you got all these things that have been instilled in you, but once you learn, for me, God, you start to know what it means to choose to be where you need to be.
Okay.
With the person you want to be with and what you got to do to stay with them the right way.
All right, beautiful. So let's jump right into it. Why wait for marriage? Who want to take it first? Okay.
The reason why we should wait is if we're speaking biblically or spiritually, because it says in Genesis the first marriage was created with Adam and Eve, and you saw God giving instructions to this man first, getting all of his instructions, and then you see the woman. In the very next text, after he gets all of his instruction, it says it is not good for this man to be alone. So we have to investigate who is this man. This man who know that he has communication with God, seeking purpose, can facilitate and take care of the woman. All of that requires alone time first before taking a plunge into this thing, because you don't know who you are if you don't know the history and who created you and what you're supposed to do on earth.
Yeah.
That's why life is such an experiment, because we get into these situations and relationships and we don't know who we are and what we're supposed to do.
Well, for me personally, mine was a little different because in my process of learning the word, I didn't understand what it was to keep myself because that wasn't how we were raised. Like when we came up in the DC area, we weren't taught about controlling yourself. It was how many can you have and how do they look. So in that, I know for myself, on my journey to waiting for marriage, I remember just burning out. Like, how many can you have? Like, how much can you do? What other club can you see? Like, we go to the same cities and see the same people just all fly around as a group to end up at the same place. So for myself, I just needed to get to learn myself. As I started burning out, I just had to deny it. So in my process of denying it, it became the first thing as Brandon Fobbs spoke, that it was something that would eventually grab my heart, and I would start going into this overall journey. So
I took it to the next level. I read a scripture, and it also said, "Be fruitful and multiply." So I just took that, and what I did, I sucked that in to my spirit, and then I started to spread protectively. But you know what? This is honestly, this is how I saw, how I still continue to live. It's funny being out here in Los Angeles, and you see all the guys, with money and flash and this and that, getting, young ladies when we want. Right. So when you never, that's not you. I never had no bread or no money. All I had was, I knew that I was attractive, I was funny and could be charming. And light skin. Honestly, I felt like what I was good at was being with a woman. So when you feel confident in that, you start doing that because you're lacking in maybe finance, or you're lacking in, I don't get to live in a big old skyscraper like my big one down the street. So with 16 roommates. But when you got that going on, you kind of overcompensate with things that you're lacking, and so that's where I kind of felt myself in. You do what you're good at. So
and that's what we did. We operated our strengths, and that's the one thing that we had in common.
That's what made me believe I was a man. You know what I mean? Being able to make a woman sound like.
Go ahead,
good.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Make her say them sound.
Not really. Honestly, we're gonna get real in here, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is crazy. My brother, me and you kids, you and your brothers pee in the same toilet sometimes, right? And so my brother, y'all, he laughed at me when he saw the size of my joint when I was like young. So in my mind, that transferred to later on proving to myself that now that when I was grown up and it grew up with me, I was able to now make women make these sounds where in my head I kept reinforcing that now I'm a man. You know what I mean? Now I'm a man. Now ain't nothing that they can laugh at now, but this boom, 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 So it's small things like that.
Okay, but I got something. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on the practical side of things, there's a spiritual reasons for waiting, but on the natural physical side, as a man, once you go there, once you have sex, I'm speaking for myself. My interest was gone. Because I'd already gotten to the
interest.
First.
I mean, that was our goal most of the time anyway. It was I never dated because we can all date for 2 weeks to get what we want.
Right.
So on my side, it was just why close off the fence when we all can just hang out, and whoever end up where that's where we end up.
Right.
So
the real reason why God wants us to wait is because He wants to protect our mind.
But I didn't know that.
I know, but this is the reason why we should have fathers who could instill and partake that knowledge inside of us.
Okay, so let's hold right there, and then let's be right back after this break.
My name is Chef Cheo. I'm a personal chef. I started cooking at the age of 9 years old, and this opportunity came up to start to become a personal chef and open my own personal chef business. My first client was Patrick Ewing, also Major League Baseball, pop stars, directors, writers, producers in movies. My personal success, the smile on my client's face when they say this food is really good, I enjoyed it. That's personal gratification for me.
back to Men Do Talk. Just before the break, the men took a poll to see who believes in sex before marriage and who does not believe in sex before marriage. So fellas, by a show of hands, who believe in sex before marriage?
Got to. Good luck.
And who do not believe in sex before marriage?
Right.
Okay.
How you
Right now, I can't do it.
Y'all have to understand, it's levels to love. You know what I mean?
Man,
So you talking about
this
no,
part of the love.
but do you believe?
But I go into
practice?
I practice. I go into every relationship, every person I meet, I go into it with an open heart, waiting. But sometimes you know that.
But what's your length of wait though?
I mean, are you waiting to get married or you waiting?
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I go like it's like because it's like.
Okay, so wait. We're gonna let him think about this for a second. But now let's take a quick look at this video really quick.
I want to too, but we said that we wouldn't.
What's the matter? We're engaged.
I know we're engaged, and I can't wait to have you, but babe, we said we wait until we get married. I mean, you can't be cooking in that.
Cooking in what? This is how I always dress when we're home.
Yeah. Right, I know, but right now it's not helping.
Look, this isn't easy. I know I said that I would respect our decision to wait, but it seems like every time I get close to you, you get in a mood. Can I just get a hug at least,
Babe,
please?
come on, what you expect? I'm a man.
Exactly. My man. The man I said yes to. The man I am engaged to. It just seemed like we can't even get close to each other without even being natural.
We can be natural. And I'm going to naturally handle this after we get married.
So Van, with you seeing this and the answer you was gonna give, why wait for marriage, and why did you say no to sex before marriage?
Well, that's what I believe. That's what I know to be true, following biblical principles. Because everything about it, when you deviate off that course, the whole reason why society is the way it is, because you see people having children and they're not fit because they didn't go through the necessary step to get their mind right.
And how hard is that for you though? Like, is that
It's extremely hard.
Yeah.
And that's the principles I follow, but you fail all the time. I fail.
So
but that's the principle that I want to adhere to.
And that's the thing that most people don't like to admit, is that, hold on, we stumble, we stumbling, we fall. Like, I saw my brother do it clean, straight out, a whole year without touching anybody. And I held myself to that same pressure because of the simple fact that I saw him do it. So we're seeing him do it and knowing him and knowing that we both in the club with the bottles in. So if Stephon can do it, I can do it, because no man ever put another man above himself when it comes to a challenge of anything, but just admiring the strength and who he is. That's when I'm like, hold on. Then I saw Brandon Fobbs do it before I saw Stephon. So I started having all these different examples. So
well, Pete, I was doing it when you saw that, and that was and something, but because it's real, like Stephon said, but like Stephon said, it's hard, and the situation really is the fact that when you say this is what you believe, like the word believe means to agree with. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that's what you're stating, that's what you do all the time, but you believe in it, meaning you know it's right and you're wrong if you're on the other side of it. And when I say I know it's right and I'm wrong, meaning that's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm going for, because you know, sometimes you be like, yo, I want to be celibate. Then you fail. Then sometimes our natural need to want to be perfect. We feel like, oh, I failed, so I might as well just go fail big, you know? But when you say, I want to be celibate, I agree that this is right, then I'm just saying, I'm going to stick with this, oh, I fail. I'm going to get up because that's right. I still want the right thing.
So question, how do you bounce back from that pressure or that self-conviction or that self-condemnation after you have after you fall? How do you get yourself back into alignment?
Hold on, I got a question even with that. Okay, so you calling it falling, but I don't even necessarily see it that way. I feel like if you in love with me and I'm in love with you, and we are committed to each other, then if you want to go ahead and then show your love in every different way you can, then I mean, and that means every position go all out, then why not?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that.
But what I'm saying is, I've seen people that are married and they have had sex before marriage and they stayed married 100 years, and I've also seen it crumble in the first month. You know, I look at it more so as I'm already working hard enough when I'm just trying to, you know, make sure that you're happy, make sure that I'm not cheating and stepping outside of our bond and all that kind of stuff. And on top of that, I gotta look at you in that t-shirt with no panties on. I'm over here like looking at you all stiffed up and balled up. I'm like, man, come on now.
So the problem is, the answer to that is we think the opposite of right is wrong, but the opposite of right is actually good. So here it is, you actually love her, she actually loves you. It's a good thing. So the devil is not going to tempt you with wrong things because you're too intelligent for that. He's going to tempt you with the good thing. He's going to say in your mind, yeah, she is your girl, you are committed, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. But in actuality, when you go outside the covenant of God, then you're going to have to suffer the consequences of it, and whatever they are.
So I have a question for Dwayne and Mike. For your personal journey, where y'all are, like you both said that you believe and you don't believe, and you say that you don't believe because you obviously say you want to test the car, you don't want to wait. Do you ever get tired or burned out, or do you feel like I want to take a time to kind of focus on one person and only focus on that one person?
100%. There are definitely times, and I'm gonna be, since we all the way open and honest, we've been there together at back in the days where we was burning them out. Definitely, but I felt like we was getting to that point. But just because I'm not waiting till marriage, don't mean I'm having sex with every woman that come across my path. Don't mean I'm having. That's just marriage to me. As of this point, is still such a far step. I haven't been in love. I haven't even had a relationship in many, many years. I think right now I'm just working on what I got to do to get, you know, my finances right, my mind right, my grown man on right before I even commit to somebody like that. But just because, like I said, I'm not going buck wild with every woman I meet like when we were younger. But you know what I mean? That don't, you know. But I still, if I meet somebody and I love them and I think I want to share myself with them, I'm not going to be like, well, because it might be that I might in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be, we're dating each other, and you just, even though me and you mentally are there, something ain't wrong with you.
So question, you say that you've never been in love, and I didn't forget you. You say you've never been in love, but you say that you in a relationship and you love that person. So how do you tell someone you love them in love, especially being intimate, and never been in love?
Well, I've never told nobody that I love them without being in love with them. I haven't never been in love.
So you never shared that you...
I mean, you know, when you're really younger, early 20s, you play with it. You're like, girl, you know what? I love you.
That was a classic pickup line out the gate. So Wayne,
I never.
That wasn't yours?
No.
Oh, that was a classic one, like the I love you the first 14 minutes?
I never got my car keyed either, though. I never got tires slashed either.
So to jump back to your question about explaining being in between the agreement and the non-agreement, break that down for us.
Well, it came to a point where when I got to a certain point where I understood life and what I wanted in life and what I knew and what I grew up with, I looked back at my history and my family, and it really started sink in when I got better relationship when I moved out here. I got a better relationship with my mother.
Yeah.
And I realized that I came from a broken family. My father's a workaholic. My whole family's a workaholic. So we were always like doing our own thing. You there, and we all successful in our own in our own realms, but we never were together. I never had no family love. The streets was my family. So when I used to leave out, the streets was all I knew. Because that's where I got my love from. So when I got love, I only knew what I knew. So growing up, the love I felt was from the streets. The girls in the club, like, you know, that whole world. So me coming home and sitting down with a family and knowing what love is to this day, I don't even know why. Like, I look at my father and I'm like, what? My mother's calling me, telling me stuff that needs to go on, and I'm like, why you don't have him do it? Why you use your money? And I just never understood love. And then I never got love. I had to tell this chick the other day, I was dating her and she started showing me all this attention and love, and I was like, whoa, what's wrong? What's your catch? Because I didn't get it. I don't know why you coming at me with like this, like, let's just start off with lunch or something and figure it out, but it was just all this other, and I ain't understand it. So it started to dawn on me like, maybe I'm getting in my own way. So I just chased what I thought love was. So I never was in a position where I said I'm going to be intimate. I'm going to be like celibate because I was loving the love. I wake up looking for love. So I never got that. So when I got to the streets or got to a point where somebody, if she was showing me love, I'm gonna show you love back. And I'm gonna love you until you show me no more love. And then I'm gonna wash my hands of the situation. I gotta say, maybe it wasn't love. And I'm gonna move to that. And then, so I go where the love is. You know what I mean? Like they always say, you go where you're adored, not ignored. So I went where that love was at. She showed me love. She called me, how was your date? Damn, I ain't had nobody do that.
So question.
So it was...
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's extremely
so that's why
real.
I always was like, I would love. I talk to you all the time about it. I be thinking this one's the one, that's the one, that's the one. Oh, Pete, that's the one. And they swear they at now.
Did you already know that was going to be somebody that you wanted to be very serious with, or your wife, before you said, I would decide to take this step about the celibacy with her?
I actually decided to be celibate before I met my wife.
Oh, see.
So my question was going to be to you earlier, because my decision to be celibate was based on where I was in life. Sex became something that was pulling me away from what I needed to be focused on. And so earlier you mentioned you're trying to get your career right, trying to get your finances right, trying to get everything in order. What if celibacy was the key to that?
It is.
Then would you then look at it differently versus I'm just waiting for this woman?
No, that's very important, and that's what brought me back to my point. It was a deterrent when I was very young, when I was going through. Like, we hit the scene, and even with my job and being in the light of an actor, wherever I went, people was like, "Oh, hey, is that you?" I was like, "Oh, that's me."
It's
going to, you know.
Yeah, it's different when we're young, because we all had those moments. Like we didn't, like we weren't perfect. Like we just started hitting another level, another transition of life. So for Stefan, like the wait, like my wait was 3 years and a 5-year process to actually get to my wife. But when I first saw her, I just said there's something about her, but I didn't say that's my wife. So true. For a year and a half past, I never said anything to her. I wasn't calling her. I wasn't doing none of that kind of stuff. And then when March 5th, God told me to put send Judy Blair a message. I'm like, for what? She don't know me. But then I'm like, well, God, if you want me to get a message to her, just show me, because I don't want to put my flesh in the way.
Hey, but hold on. It could be that thing where you've been starving for 10 years.
But it wasn't though. That's
and somebody said, hey, here's a Ritz cracker. Oh, goddamn, this is wifey.
Okay, guys, we're about to get into some questions from our audience.
All right, so this question is for the men who have waited. What role did sex play in your life before you waited and then after you waited? And the same question goes to the man who is not waiting or is not sure about waiting, what role do you see sex playing in your life right now?
Okay. So for myself, when I was sexually active before my celibacy and my journey and everything started, sex was, every night. You know what I'm saying? Like it was one of the things to where you would have a different person every night because you got the clubs, you got travel. Like for me personally, I was always around influential people, whether it was your famous athletes, like the top athletes and your top actors and all these different people. So going into these atmosphere with these people, like they can only take one person. And my thing was, if you can only take one, then I can take all your friends because I don't have any pressure on me. So therefore, I built a friendship with a lot of people. So therefore, with that, sex was an addiction because that's all I knew. So in breaking away from it, it gave me the power to understand my no. But I had to go through a real critical part of literally laying in the bed, crying real tears to not pick up my phone because it was just eating me that much on the inside to not lay in the bed by myself. And from there, afterwards, I was able to divorce all the 20 some odd jobs of just maintaining those relationships and just going from one girl to the next to put all the attention onto what I really needed to do was focus on myself, my kid, my mom, my sister, because those are the people that I say I love. So I had a real talk by looking at myself in the mirror to say if I really love them, then I need to treat the other women as so.
So the role that sex played in my life before celibacy it wasn't so much as I needed it every single day, but it occupied my mind every single day. So when I started to think about my actions, going to the clubs, drinking, and just partying, all of that was because I was trying to get to sex.
Yeah.
So pre-gaming and drinking and getting drunk.
Clothes.
That's my clothes, my haircut every week. Like that just went towards, okay, I'm trying to find a new woman to have sex with. So these are things I just have to do. Once I was able to recognize that, and I ended up having a DUI and crashing my car as a result of leaving the party to drive to have sex. And so when I was able to rationalize that it wasn't alcohol that caused that, it was my desire for sex, then I just rewound everything and said, okay, I need to handle the sex thing. So once I took that off of the table and became celibate, I realized I had more control and more power and more confidence actually, because I really didn't care if I met a woman and she said I couldn't have her phone number. I wasn't trying to have sex with her anyway. Whereas before I felt like I was losing something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and now being married, it's just an added bonus that I get to share with my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's good.
So we have another question.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Okay, so my question is, stop that. What tips and advice do you have mentally, emotionally, physically, even spiritually for someone who is committing to celibacy, maybe in a relationship, in this society where the pressure is to have sex, and some people say it's even unhealthy?
For myself, I just say to make sure your want is greater than a desire for your pleasure. And that's pretty much it. Because once you have your mind set on something, as long as you stay with a solid mind, understanding that you'll still face temporary situations where you'll make the wrong decisions, just make sure that your mind is stayed on that goal. So that way you'll continue to pick yourself up along the way. Because you will have bumps and bruises, but along that thing, like just making sure you stay tight to what you desire.
But what if you're in the heat of the moment?
I was going to add to it too. First off, if you're coming from a place where you've had sex like that before, you gotta say, like we talked about it, you gotta know yourself. And you gotta know where your pitfalls are. And so you need to have accountability from somebody else. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like I've been to a place where I had to text another like friend, a pastor, every night, I'm good, I'm in the house. Or, you know what I mean? They might call you, check, are you good? Or whatever. But you gotta know yourself. You gotta know like you said, you know, because sometimes you know you have a greater desire even more than the pleasure that's in front of your face, but you still just want to go and escape. Because like my man said right here, sex was an escape for me. It's like any addiction, you know what I mean? It was an escape. So you're gonna have the moments where you want to escape in a moment, like you don't want to deal with the bills, you don't want to deal with the lack of money, you don't want to deal with your position in life. So that's the easiest thing you got to go to. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so you're gonna have to get boundaries. And if you got somebody you're with, for me, it doesn't work. Honestly, if I'm with somebody that's willing to have sex, it doesn't work. I need a teammate on the real, because if I'm with somebody and I might go through them feelings, and this person's like, well, if you ready, I can. Yeah. And you know, because there's going to be a time when I'm ready. I'm going to need that person to say, like, if I'm tripping, they're going to say, babe, stop. You know,
well, the brothers that are holding the celibacy thing down, does masturbation count? Because now we getting into a whole bowl of shenanigans.
But thank you, Anna, for your question. Thank you for your question. And to answer your question, it just honestly depends on you. So we'll take one more question.
So, who can answer? What would be the incentive of celibacy for those who don't believe in marriage necessarily?
Booyah! Bomb,
Mr. Wisdom.
Go ahead, brother.
Well, I think celibacy itself is basically a result of a feeling. Celibacy is the reaction to something that's already internal.
Yeah.
We are created to have an intimacy with God, and when we don't have that, we look for outlets in order to distract ourselves from these spiritual yearnings we're supposed to have. So whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's attention grabbing, it's all in result of trying to find this intimacy I'm supposed to have with God. Celibacy is not necessarily for the sake of marriage and all these other things. It's about you finding that alone time so you could be so one with God.
Yeah.
Because the reason why we're here, it's all about what am I supposed to give the earth? Mm-hmm. Just like how Pierre and Judy, they created this beautiful atmosphere where we're talking about things that are not popular, even in church. So their calling is being manifested in the earth, and the result of that, once it hit YouTube, people will be blessed by it. So it's not necessarily from refraining from sex, it's about having that alone time so I could find out what is it you want me to do, God, so I could do it. And sometimes sex distracts us from doing what we're supposed to be doing in the earth.
Now give us your real answer. He was playing. I actually agree with that because I've done 27 months and it had nothing to do with waiting for marriage.
Yes.
And Brandon, what was you?
Well, I was going to say too, when you don't believe in marriage, sometimes you get together with people and things happen, and all of a sudden you got kids, and now kids grow up in a place where parents didn't pledge forever to each other. Right. You know what I mean? And so when kids grow up in a place where parents didn't pledge forever to each other, they don't get to model what the wholeness of love is. Right. You know what I mean? Now they have one person's perspective that this person doesn't have any equal to. You know what I mean? Like if Pierre only has his daughter and he never has any Judy, now whatever old messed up views Pierre has, he doesn't have Judy to balance him out. So now his child has to see unbalanced views. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so now you're going into this world, you're ill preparing children. Because if we believe in marriage or God or not, we still gonna have kids if we have sex. Right. You know what I mean? And even if you use a condom, understood. If you use a condom, you're still getting close to a person that you might not plan on loving forever. Now we all know once we had sex with somebody, everybody can say, oh, it was just a little agreement. You know, we were cool. But when you get together, the lies, those are the lies you tell each other, but somebody gets deeper feelings and somebody's gotta get hurt, you know?
Yeah. Thank you for your question, brother. So we've had an amazing time on the show today. Fellas, I want to thank y'all so much for coming out. Y'all know what this means to me to have a place of purity to share with y'all, regardless of our beliefs, man. We did this together.